Welcome to this episode of Estate Planning Secrets Revealed. I'm attorney Tony Bell, and in this episode, we are going to be looking at the top 12 considerations that entrepreneurs need to make when they are putting together their estate plan. Entrepreneurs are some of the most daring people around. They are willing to make something out of nothing in order to create legacy, in order to survive, in order to provide for their families. And, they have unique situations and unique considerations. And so we're going to look quickly at the top 12 considerations for entrepreneurs when it comes to estate planning. First, entrepreneurs need to consider complex asset portfolios. Entrepreneurs often will have a diverse range of assets, including business interests. You'll sometimes have real estate holdings, investments, intellectual property, and much more. And so each of these assets need to be carefully considered in order to protect each of them appropriately. Sometimes, in fact, in most situations, an estate plan for an entrepreneur is much different than an estate plan for someone else. And so, due to these different assets that are in place, there must be a consideration of each of them and how each of them will be protected and appropriated in the future. So first is complex asset portfolios. Second consideration for entrepreneurs is business succession planning. If you have a business, if you are an entrepreneur, you must come up with a business succession plan. That is part of your estate planning. That means that if something were to happen to you, you need to be able to come up with the direction for the company going on even without you. What do you want to happen with your business after you are gone? Or if you are incapacitated, what do you want to happen? If you are incapacitated, in your estate plan, you need to come up with directions or instructions of who do you want to run the business. You can get very, very specific with it. You can even say exactly what you want to happen with the business or certain decisions that you would like to have made by someone who is responsible, a fiscal person who is responsible for the business while you are incapacitated. That's one part of the business succession plan. But another aspect of the business succession plan is what happens to the business when you die. What do you want to happen? It's your business. You're the entrepreneur. You created this thing. So what do you want to happen to it? If you die, do you want for it to continue to bring revenue on a residual basis to maybe your family members or a nonprofit? Or do you want it to be sold and then the proceeds from that to pay out to someone in particular or an organization? What do you want? It's all in your hands. If you create the business succession plan as part of your estate plan. So that's the second unique consideration for an entrepreneur. The third unique consideration is around valuation. Accurately valuing a business or unique assets can be pretty challenging sometimes. And entrepreneurs need to determine the true value of their business and other assets in order to ensure that it is appropriately dealt with when you pass away. And there are multiple considerations here because you have to ensure that it's valued correctly, because this is going to impact taxes for your estate. This is going to impact taxes for any beneficiaries. All of these are important considerations. So that's something else that entrepreneurs have to have at the forefront of their thinking when they're putting together their estate plan. Number 4, liquidity concerns. Liquidity concerns. Many entrepreneurs have wealth tied up into their business. And so this can create liquidity challenges when it comes time for distribution or covering estate taxes or paying debts or other financial obligations after their passing. And so you want to build into your plan some understanding of the liquidity of the business and how are you going to deal with that, because that is an important complexity that has to be addressed when you are putting together your estate plan. It's necessary, though, to think about. Number 5, tax implications. The entrepreneur has to think about the tax implications of what they decide to do with their business and their personal assets at the time of putting together the estate plan. You have to be mindful of both the income and the estate tax. Estate tax laws can vary quite a bit from state to state. So in the state of California, it is one thing. Now, if your business does interstate deals or business, you have to take into consideration what state laws will apply the most. So those are some complex considerations, and we'll pick this back up again. All right, so we talked about tax implications. Now let's pick up with family dynamics. Part of the complex consideration of entrepreneurs are the family dynamics. Different family members, especially if they are involved in the business, have different interests, they have different expectations, and so you, as the entrepreneur, have the responsibility of trying to weigh those and determine what exactly do you want to happen with your business, and in what way, and involving who, and giving power or authority to who or not to who. It's up to you. That's the reason why, though, that this is a complex consideration, because the future of your business depends on it. So the next consideration is protecting intellectual property. Many times as an entrepreneur, you don't even realize that what you have is intellectual property. It could be a product that you have, but it could also be a process that you have created that is transformational. However, you need to protect your intellectual property first, and then secondly, you need to determine how are you going to protect and transition the that asset in your estate plan. That is part of the decision making that you have to come up with. What do you want to do with this intellectual property? Do you want to license it? Do you want to put into the estate plan that after your death you want to start to open up for licensing of this product or process, so that it can create an additional residual revenue stream for your family possibly? But this is all part of the estate planning process for an entrepreneur. Contingency planning. You also, as part of your estate plan, you need contingency planning. What is that? What happens if you become incapacitated and you are unable to run your business? You're still alive, but what do you want to happen? It's your business. You need to create a contingency plan so that your business can not only survive, but it can thrive if you're not available to run it every single day. Debt management. Another complex consideration of entrepreneurs. Many times when we're building our businesses, we have to create debt in order to leverage the debt to create further success for the business. However, what happens to that debt if you pass away? So you need to create a debt management plan of how debt will be dealt with. Will it automatically something be sold and then all of the debt or something liquidated and then all of the debt paid from that? Or will there be a residual payment of payments just as though you were still alive? All of this is part of a good business succession plan and also part of your planning as an entrepreneur. Next, number 10, minimizing disruption. An entrepreneur's death or incapacity can cause the wheels to come to a halt. And what you want to do is you don't want for that to happen. You need for your business to continue if you want it to continue, unless you want everything to stop right at your death. But that's a different part of the plan, and that needs to be in writing if that's what you want. But if you don't want for that to happen, if you want your legacy to continue through this business, then you need to create a plan step by step in order to minimize the disruption of your death. And so that's another unique consideration for you as an entrepreneur. Number 11, trusts and business structures. Entrepreneurs may decide to consider using trusts, such as a revocable living trust or an irrevocable trust, in order to manage the assets and to provide for your beneficiaries. It's your choice. And these structures can help you to protect your assets as well as provide flexibility in distributing the wealth. This is one way that you can do it. That brings us to number 12, updating the plan. Once you have considered all of these things and you have put together this plan, an estate plan with your estate planning attorney, you need to remember that things change constantly, especially, and you know this, owning a business, things are constantly changing. Your financial situation can also rapidly change due to the nature of business. So you need to regularly update your plan, and it's crucial that you update it in order to reflect changes in assets, changes in family circumstances, as well as changes in tax laws. So update your plan regularly. So real quick, let me just recap what the 12 special considerations are, unique considerations for entrepreneurs. First, complex asset portfolio. Remember, most entrepreneurs have a complex asset portfolio. It's not just cut and dry, always one shoe fits everyone. Remember, there are different types of assets and you need to account for each one. Second, business succession planning. You have to include this in your estate plan if you are going to come up with a good estate plan. Number 3, valuation challenges. Remember, it is important that you value your business and your assets as accurately as possible in order to keep future problems away. Number 4, liquidity concerns. Take into consideration liquidity and how liquid is your business, and are you setting up those who are coming after you for success, or are you tying up too many assets and too much money in your business? Number 5, tax implications. Remember, there are 2 different types of taxes There's the personal income taxes as well as estate tax implications with every decision that you're making. Number 6, family dynamics. Remember, there are different family members who are involved, whether they're involved in the business or not. And so take into account how different family members are going to respond, and also how they can be strengths to the future of your business or this plan. 7, protecting intellectual property. Remember, you have intellectual property most likely if you have a business, whether it's a product or whether it's a process. Look to see if you possibly have patents or trademarks or copyrights. Number 8, contingency planning. Remember to always create a contingency plan to show what you want to happen if you're incapacitated, if you have a sudden illness or disability. Number 9, debt management. How are you going to deal with the debt after your death? Number 10, minimize disruptions. 11, trust and business structures. Really consider using these different tools that are there for the furthering of your business. And then number 12, update the plan. This has been Attorney Tony Bell, and I appreciate you joining us for this episode of Estate Planning Secrets Revealed. I am excited to get to share with you further foundational tools that we can put in place or help you put in place to ensure your legacy. Join me in the next episode as we look at some of those. Have a great day.